Okay, I want to show you guys an easy to get, easy to use build for Magicka. This is kind of more for BGs, but you can use it here in PvP outside of BGs just fine. But it is just absolutely broken in BGs, so I want to go ahead and share it with you. Okay, let's go ahead and start. I guess I'll start with just the stats. The stats don't mean too much because this is a BG build, but 2,000 mag recovery, 30k stats basically, 3.3k spell damage, which doesn't matter too much. That's not like procced up or anything, but it's going to be a high penetration build, especially with corrosive. But we just want a little bit of penetration to go with it, so we're not just waiting on an ult. But so let's get right into it. I'll get to some of the stats real quick. Let's go to some of this right here. Okay, I got 64 points in the Magicka, 0 points in health, 0 into stam. Okay, and then what we do here is we got the Lever Mundus. Okay, I am a Nord. Nord is important. Okay, and I'm using Jewels of Misrule food. Okay, it's going to give me like 4k health, and it's going to give me stam recovery and mag recovery. Okay, so Lever Mundus, Jewels of Misrule, Nord, 64 points in the health. Okay. So let's go into the skills. So let's go to the back bar first. Back bar is going to be race against time. This is not a vampire build. Okay, there's no vampire, nothing like that. Okay, then we got coagulating blood. That's our burst heal. This right here is defensive stance. It's going to give you a damage shield, but it's also going to reduce the cost of block as well as increase the amount of damage you can block. But on top of all of that, it gives you a damage shield, reduced cost, more 10% mitigation, and it reflects the things like overload and snipes and all these things that people throw at you. It reflects it all back in their face. Super strong. People try to stun me with their bow and get themselves stunned and leaped. Volatile armor. I do recommend using the one with the shield just because it's really strong. The shield is strong, kind of goes off your max health, and we're keeping these stats in BGs because I'm not attributing any of these stats from my CP basically. Okay, but it returns damage and everything. I don't want the dot. I don't care for the dot. This is a direct damage burst build. Okay, we don't care about that dot. We want the damage shield. Okay, then we're going with heroic slash. This is like the bread and butter of this whole build. Sakar is like one of the biggest homies. He's like one of the goats of the game, and he uses a build for his stam decay that has like a 5-piece that gives you minor heroism. And I'm like, I can get that with just one ability, and that's what I did. And it was because of him that I was able to make something so good, because I realized that this is all about ult. Okay, so it's giving me my reduced cost by 5%, so I don't have to use undo. It's not the same, but it's still 5%. Okay, then it gives me minor heroism basically at all times as long as I have this up. Okay. Now, if you look, I'm a Nord. So that's Nord. That's giving me ult gen. This is giving me ult gen. And then corrosive, which we're going to get really fast. Corrosive basically makes you invincible because it incaps. It limits your incoming damage to 3% of your max health. Okay. Also gives a dot damage. That's fine. That's whatever. But the main thing is it makes you invincible while you ignore everyone's armor. That's the thing. Okay. Remember that. No mist form. Reason race against time. Let me go this bar. Okay, we dot them up. That's the engulfing flames. They're going to take 10% more damage from like things like whip and stuff like that. Okay, but it's also just a little dot. Pulls people out of stealth. Really good. Fossilizes your stun. You're going to stun them. This gives you ultimate from your class skill line right here. Where's it at? Right here. So whenever I use this, I'm getting minor brutality. It doesn't help me, but it helps my group mates. Okay, gives me some resources back, right? But the main thing is, and you see in the bottom, if you're in combat, you generate 3 ultimate when I use this, so that's good. Every 6 seconds, I can get more ult that way. Okay, as well as some stamina and stuff like that for sustain. Okay, we have elemental drain. That's going to break their armor. Now I know that we're using corrosive. You'd think, that's not necessary. I don't want to be that onslaught guy who's like only got damage if he has his ult. I want to keep good pressure consistently. Okay, burning embers. This is going to give you a nice heal. 91% of your total inflicted damage when it ends. Really, really good. Just dot a few people up. Just good little extra dot. Good little heal. And then your flame lash. Flame lash is basically every time that you boom fossilize them, you whip them, and then you whip them again, and it's a power lash that gives you some health back. I don't think it's called power lash. And then you got your ferocious leap, which gives you a huge damage shield. we're in PvP and we still have a 15k damage shield. It's super strong. Doesn't hit super hard. I use this more for like an oh shit moment, give myself a damage shield, or maybe just finish somebody off who's like a distance, give myself a little range execute on someone. But you really want to build up for your corrosive. You don't really want to use the ferocious. That's like a damage shield type of, whatever. So that's that. That's the setup. So we're using heroic slash on people, reducing their damage, gaining the ult, popping this so that I can stop blocking. I pop this because it gives me a damage shield, allowing me to do a heavy attack with my sword and board bar to proc, the ult gen from melee, the ult gen from heroic slash, get a fully charged heavy for the stam return, bunch of things like that. So really good. It's fast. Now let's get into the sets. You've waited long enough. What are these magical sets? Here it goes. Bloodspawn. That's going to be the first one. That's going to be the monster set. Okay? Boom. Bloodspawn. Bloodspawn. This is going to be heavy helmet, medium shoulder. We're going to want 5 heavy, 1 light, 1 medium for the 3-1-1. Okay? So we got Shacklebreaker as our body set. Okay? Shacklebreaker on the body because it's craftable. Okay? That way you can get a light waist, heavy chest, heavy boots, heavy legs, heavy arm. You can do all this. You can change up a little bit, but I recommend 5 heavy. 5 heavy is just so intense, especially for the sustain and everything. Okay. Now the last one. These are all prismatic, by the way. All try and stance. Try to gold it out if you can. Desert Rose, Arcane. I did not infuse anything. Arcane, Arcane, Arcane. All recovery, 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 recovery. Okay. We want good max mag. And then we're using a lightning staff, sharpened. This right here needs to be Nern. I didn't really change everything that I was supposed to on my PC account because I'm going back and forth between PS4 and here. But this should be Nern honed. I didn't get a chance to fix this. Okay, Nern honed here. In the sword and board back bar, this should be decisive. So we have Nord, that's ult gen. Bloodspawn, that's ult gen. DK using DK abilities, that's ult gen. Heroic slash, that's heroism ult gen. Then we got decisive, that's ult gen. Light attacking, that's ult gen. So we're getting ult so damn fast. I'm getting corrosives like in like 15 seconds. If I'm doing everything right and getting hit by people, I'm getting a corrosive every 15 seconds. And it has a 13-second lifetime. So I'm getting corrosives and I'm basically only having a 2-second downtime where I don't have corrosive if I want to. But I usually corrosive into a leap. So I can ignore all their armor and just leap them. But that's it. This right here should be crown poisons. Boom. Just a little extra dot. Drains people's shield and stuff like that. Okay. So that's it. Shacklebreaker, Bloodspawn, Desert Rose. We're using sword and board. Lightning staff to increase like the leap and like kind of like just your AoE damage and stuff like that. I like it more or less because I feel like it's impossible to land Inferno staff like weaves. It's just, I don't know, lightning staff's better, especially for the leap. And then your poison damage coming off your corrosive. So that's pretty much it. We're using Jewels of Misrule. So you're getting all that stam recovery and everything. If you switch right here, you can switch back and forth from a tri-stat to these, depending on defensive or offensive. And I can pop that real quick if I'm blocking and doing stuff like this. And look at the sustain. Like 15k stam recovery. That's almost exactly the same. Actually, I think it is exactly the same in BGs because I don't have anything for recovery in my CP points. So, yeah, super broken. Keep them dotted up. Keep all the little things you can on them. And just make sure that you hold block. I only have 1 heal. This heal is plenty good enough because, you have like the bleeding ember damage that's healing you too. And then whenever you pop corrosive, you're getting some healing. Really strong. Highly recommend it. So now, if you want to see the CP portion, I have a disgusting CP portion for this. Okay, it's gonna go like this. Now this is for open world, for like Cyrodiil where I am right now. Cleansing Revival. This is the most important blue perk in the entire game. Healing a target under 25% removes all harmful effects from him. This ability purges the detonation from Plaguebreaker. It takes the dot off and defuses the bomb attached to it. So when you purge Plaguebreaker, you don't take any damage. You don't take the penalty damage from purging it. That's how strong this is. all harmful effects, meaning the effect of purging it. Like, it's so broken. Okay, so that's that. I do one for direct damage. That's it. Just direct damage, because I am blocking. I'm getting a lot of mitigation through block. And for DK, I just went with these two. 165 weapon and spell damage to my damaging abilities. That's leap, that's whip, that's dots, that's everything. As well as this right here. But this one actually goes towards my healing. So 150 weapon damage towards my healing, and then my damage as well as this. So towards my damage, I have like 315 weapon and spell damage towards my abilities. You won't have that in BGs though, but it's okay. You don't need it in BGs. And then here we go right here. We got 1731 armor per stage. Basically just you get armor. Okay. Survival instincts. This reduces the cost of block. So you already have the reduced cost of block down by 10% because of my sword and board move, the defensive stance. That's reducing the cost by 10%. This is reducing it by 25%. You're getting all kinds of reduced costs from sword and board passives. It's just like, it's super broken. Okay. And this one right here is for minor protection if I am stunned or anything, which is pretty cool. Because usually people hit their highest burst right after they stun you, so it works for me. Now over here, I have the most important perk, Bracing Anchor. This is broken. Increase the amount of damage you can block by 20%. That's 20% mitigation. I was thinking about using this over here. Where's it at? Whoops. There's something in here. Oh, in here. I was going to use Pain's Refuge, but that's a maximum. If you have a Zerg on you, a maximum of 20%. I can get that whole 20% up front just by using this Bracing Anchor. Reduces my speed by 16%. That don't matter. It's not, even when I use Race Against Time, if I use Race Against Time or anything like that, it don't matter. If I'm blocking, I'm not trying to move while I'm blocking anyway. I just block real quick, do what I gotta do, heal up, and keep moving, or stun them. You know what I mean? So, super broken. So that's it. Survival instincts, armor, major protection when feared or stunned, and then increased block mitigation by 20%. Okay? This one, Cleansing Revival, the Purge, right? Untamed Aggression, that's weapon damage, and then weapon and spell damage, of course, for the damaging abilities. And then Ironclad, 10% mitigation, all times, direct damage. These right here don't really matter at all. That's just your green stuff. But, yep, that's it. Okay, stay buffed up. You can hold block during bursts. You don't really need to hold block. You're already kind of tanky. But if they're like hitting you with some just insane shit, hold block, you know, hit your healing, whatever. And then if you need to let go of block for a second, that's cool. Hit this. That's a damage shield. They're throwing stuff at you. Good. Reflect it back. Oh, they snared you? Boom. Remove yourself, right? But make sure you're always keeping that heroism up, because the heroism is really the key to this build. This build is all about heroism. The ult gen. This is an ult generating machine. When I'm in combat getting hit, I literally will pop a corrosive, and exactly 15 seconds later I already have another corrosive. But most of the time, unless it's really intense, I'll just pop the corrosive. After I've popped the corrosive, you know, I'll get my stuns, get whatever, and then boom, I'll leap real quick. I try to leap them. I'll leap them while I have the corrosive, so I can leap them, it stuns them, and I whip them twice to get the power lash. All of that ignoring all of their penetration. Now, our penetration should be a little bit lower, and then the spell damage should be a little bit higher. Let me pop a potion real quick. Spell pots, you need the spell pots that you get here from PvP and Cyrodiil. Easy to get. Where's it at? 3,300. That'll go up once you get a Nirnhone. So you want Nirnhone right here. And that'll go up a little bit higher. I don't know, like 37, 35. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty good. Okay. That's it. That's the build. That's the Mag DK. It is broken. Just disgusting. Bloodspawn, Shacklebreaker, Desert Rose, all recovery glyphs, and then you're getting all that recovery back from Desert Rose. It's insane, and you can pretty much just hold block because you're using the Jewels of Misrule, so you're getting so much stam recovery that you just, man, it's disgusting. Just please go try this and be amazed. I don't die. I go like 20-0 non-stop in BGs. I don't die, period. Even if my kills are a little lower, if it's a sweaty match, I'll only have like 10 to 14 kills. But it's always 0 deaths. I do not die, and I'm constantly pushing the pace. For someone to never die and they're the ones being the aggressor and pushing the pace and shoving themselves into everyone and attacking multiple people, and I'm not the one dying ever. Ever. It's insane, dude. You do not die ever. You will not die. If you do it correctly, you will not die. You cannot die on this build, and you're gonna kill plenty of people because it's not a tank set. You're just cheesing. You're cheesing the survivability, and then the damage. You're cheesing that too because you're hitting a corrosive. It's like when you would hit the shooting star. Shooting star gives you ultimate 9 ult for each person you hit. So if you hit a zerg of people with a meteor or a shooting star, you shooting star into the, like a Templar, you shooting star into the topple charge into a crescent sweep. So you ult them into an ult. This is the same thing. You're ulting them with corrosive into the ult leap that ignores all their resistances. And then the leap, and because of that, they get flown back. You get the power lash now too, which makes your leap hit like a brick. So yeah, super broken. Enjoy the build. Hit me in my DMs. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. But y'all enjoy yourself. I'm out for now. Peace.